Alrighty, I am back with part 5. I think I'm on my way to do some fighting, because yesterday I did a lot of dialogue. Oof. Bear with me a touch if I'm slower than normal. Allergies are killing me a little bit today. Whew. Alrighty. So Bart is in some rented house somewhere. I'm gonna talk to him, and that's gonna start a two-pronged operation. I believe the first part is Faye and a couple other people at the Kislev border, and then I think the other part is everyone else running people out of Nissan. Whew. Alright, where the hell are they hiding? They're hiding somewhere. It's gonna be like the last freaking door I check because, you know, that'll happen. Whew. Come on, where are these bastards? There we go. You're definitely ready. Alright, Sigurd says our comrades in Nissan will hit the Western Guard in Kislev uniforms as planned. We'll wait for the right moment, then head for the palace in the Yggdrasil. Bart says got it, but avoid any unnecessary deaths. This especially goes for the Ava troops and also the people from Gebler. Sigurd says yes, we understand. Faye says I guess I'm gonna raise some hell on my Weltall then. Sigurd says we're counting on you. Margie says, next time we meet, I won't be able to call you Bart or Young Master. Maybe Your Majesty? Bart says, cut it out. Bart's fine. Great mother of Nissan. Margie says, hey, you know I hate that title. Bart laughs at her. Bart says, well, we're out of here. Margie says, okay, good luck. Agnes says, Marguerite and Bartholomew. Seeing you two brings my hopes up. Agnes continues, long ago before the Fatimas of Ava were called Fatima, the royal brothers and their wives oversaw many prosperous reigns or eras. I'm looking forward to the day when, as the great mother of the Nissan sect, you will take your place on the throne as Bartholomew's wife. Margie says, what? Hey, hold on, I hate talking about queens and romance. Bart and I are best friends. Agnes says, haha, marriage is the best friendship. Agnes continues, well, Marguerite, at the rate that you are maturing into a beautiful woman, I don't think Bart will be able to ignore you much longer. Margie says, stop it, you're embarrassing me. General Matria says, each squad of gears take off in order from here to avoid being picked up. We'll meet at the Rockies by the border tomorrow at 1200 hours. Got it? Okay. The time has finally come. I'm pumped. I guess these are the gear operators. Bart says, though the warship is outdated, you're only going in as a small unit. It's gonna be a tough fight, but you could change Ava's future. I'm counting on you. Matria says, leave it up to us, young master. We'll drag Vanderkam's tail around and around. Matria says, right, son? Faye says, don't call me son, because you sure ain't my pops. Matria says, huh? And then laughs. Matria continues, well, young master, we promise to make something out of this battle. Anywho. Bart says, Faye, it's odd for me to say this since I'm the one who got you involved, but be careful, okay? Faye says, you too. Bart says, if anything happens to me, take care of Margie and them for me. Faye says, don't jinx yourself, it's not like you. But I'll take care of them, don't worry. top rendering is pretty nice compared to what it looks like without it. Mason says, aren't you going to rest up a little? I guess I have control right now. Where is this guy hiding? He's probably behind his little counter. There we go. Mason says, at long last, we are heading to Bledavik tomorrow. Though he is the prince, our young master doesn't know the royal capital very well. I'd always felt that was an awful pity, but despite that, I tried my best to raise him as crown prince. However, looking back, I might have put too much of the burdens of kingship on him a little too early in life, and it might have been too much for a child with a future like his to handle. I must be the most terrible minder ever. Seitan says, my dear Lord Mason, I hardly think that is right. The young one would have taken the burden off of himself had he not wanted to bear it any longer. He is a fine man now, far capable of handling any such burdens or pressures, and I believe you are the very ones who have given him the strength to do so. Mason says, oh, my good Dr. Uzuki, how may I be of service? I hope I can be of such service again, he says. Anywho... Alright, I guess I need to go get myself on top of the Yggdrasil. This guy says, my name is Bingo, the apprentice helmsman. Sigurd has been teaching me how to operate the Yggdrasil. Do you want to see my notes? I can't wait until I become a fully fledged helmsman, he says. Allergies. Sigurd says, why such a glum face? Tomorrow's our first return to your castle in 12 years. Bart says, returning to the castle. After we get the royal palace back, I guess I'm gonna be the king. I'm not very suited for it, am I? Sigurd says, you'll get used to it. Bart says, listen, Sig. Sigurd says, yes. Bart says, I guess it really doesn't matter who the king is, does it? As long as it's a symbol of hope, right? It doesn't have to be me. Sigurd says, I was kidnapped by Solaris and brainwashed for use as a human guinea pig. But even though they couldn't erase my desire, even they couldn't erase my desire to return home. Then I remembered you and Marguerite, not as the royalty of our country, but as just normal children. I don't care about rebuilding a dynasty. I want to regain this kingdom because it belongs to you, because it's your home. Bart says, because it's my home? Sigurd says, yes. For that, we must take Shakan down tomorrow, am I correct? Bart says, right, then let's do it. Sigurd says, but first, I think you need to take a bath. Bart says, a bath? Sigurd says, you don't look like a king at all. You are facing the enemy's leader, so you must have a noble appearance. Bart says, hey, you just said it didn't matter whether I'm a king or not. Sigurd says, that is that, this is this. Satan says, that someone was waiting for you. That one thought was all it took for you to regain yourself. You are a great man, Sigurd. Khan is remembering a battle with Id, who is one scary mofo. Graph. Ramses says he's out of control. Stop him. I don't care. Just stop him. Ramses says this can't be. Yet somehow it is. Ramses says, help. Says, what's wrong? You look like you have just had a nightmare. It wasn't that same dream again, was it? Ramses says, no, it was nothing. Miang says, car. Peeping is not very becoming, you know. I saw the boy that you were after fight in the tournament. I could tell right away he resembles you greatly. Graf says you use the influence of the ministry to set you up with that man. I don't know what you are up to, but don't you dare think about plotting against me. You stay out of this. Miang says, oh, I see the news has already reached you. As usual, you're the first to hear about everything. But don't worry, I won't steal your prized possession. I'll cooperate. Besides, you and I go back a long way. This dolphin guy says, oh? I think his name's Hans. Bart says, what's up? No, Franz. No, for a moment I thought I caught some unnatural sounds. Bart says, we're near the capital. It's probably just some kind of ship from there. Franz says, but it's not from the surface, it's from under the sand. Bart says, under the sand, this is the only sand cruiser in all of Ava. Sigurd says, we haven't heard anything about a new ship, even from the spies at Ava Naval Headquarters. Franz, can you try again and confirm what it is? Franz says, I can't catch it again. It could have been a sand whale. Young Master, I'm detecting an increase in the use of F-band. That's the Royal Capital's Defense Force frequency. Franz says, there, on the surface layer. I'm detecting sounds of anchors being weighed in and engines being activated. The Royal Capital's defense fleet must be departing. We also intercepted a transmission from the patrol at the border with Kislev. They're requesting immediate backup from the Royal Capital. Looks like we've really raised some hell at the border. Bart says, "All right, we'll start. Ready the shuttle boats." Bart continues, "When we land, hide the ship." Mason says, "Young master, I have an awfully bad feeling about this. Do be very careful." Bart says, "It's all right, old Mason." Rank says, "What, this little girl's our commanding officer?" Breuer says, "She's said to be an elite from out of Jugend." Stratsky says, "She returned single-handedly from the Kislev infiltration operation." Helmhall says, "And empty-handedly, I hear. No souvenirs for the commander, huh?" Rank says, "Yep, what a pretty face. She's not the soldier type." Ellie says, "You there, is that how you address a superior officer? Remember your rank." Rank says, "Oh, scary." Vance says, "We don't care much for rank, and we don't care much for rank either. Ha ha ha. But just because you're beautiful doesn't mean you have to be cocky." Breuer says, "Ha, this jerk's just jealous." Vance says, "What? I'm much prettier. How could I be jealous?" Stratsky says, "Hey, shut that perv up. He gives me the creeps." Rank says, "And that's how it is, so don't get in our way, Miss Lieutenant." Ellie stays silent. Rank says, "Anyway, let's just get this thing moving. Can't tell what it can do just by looking at it." Stratsky says, "What kind of machine is this? I've never seen it before." Rank says, "It's a new model gear called Verge. That's for officers' use only. It's said that people with normal mental power can't operate it." Stratsky says, "So she's still a Jugend regardless of having no ability." Vance says, "Ha, this looks like fun. Let's see what she can do." Matria says, "Head for the mountain peak. There's no time to waste. Deploy." Alrighty. Looks like this is going to be platforming hell. Where to go? Where to go? I received a magnetic coat. Oh wow. That's a jump I can make, huh? Yeah, apparently I'm out of fuel. Yeah, there's no way I'm making that. Get the fuck out of here. Alright. Seriously though, where the fuck do I go? Oh man. Super annoying. For fuck's sake. Really? So fucking annoying. Ugh, this is freaking redonkulous. I think that's where that item was. Oh yay. More fights. Every 3 steps, baby. Of course. Yep. Alright, I think that's where I'm supposed to go, hopefully. Oh boy. Oh man. This is just glorious. Really? Received a Rosal S. Super not gonna happen. What? I thought I saved closer. Whatever. God damn it. Let's just make this more annoying than it has to be. Oh boy. I'm pushing jump and it's doing jack shit. Can that thing not do that? That'd be better. Oh, of course. Fuck off. Okay, that's just obnoxious. Gold nugget, apparently. I didn't even move and I, like, sat there for a while and then got attacked. Super annoying. It's good to know that there's just, like, 8 billion freaking random monster gears in here. I literally pressed jump. Fuck you. Fucking platforming. This repair bot says he's lost and he saw some strong gears, and by the way, he found these and he's probably trying to sell me stuff, I guess. That's nice. Already have that, already have that, already have that. Bart already has that equipped. I don't need any of that shit. What is that C circuit shit? I don't know, I'll keep it. I hope to see you again. Of course, it has to repeat his whole bullshit. He has nothing I care about there. Let's hope there's not much left of this. Faye, a Gebler gear unit. Faye says, what? I fucking hate it when they like put one line of dialogue. Faye says, let me handle this. But, we don't have time, says Faye. While we're wasting time here, Bart's team is already on their way to the castle. Hurry. Roger. Ellie says, that gear, don't tell me it's Faye. Breuer says, hey, is that him, the guy from before? Rank says, yep, that's him alright. Breuer says, good, it's time for a rematch. Don't fall behind, sister. Rank says, you're in the way, why don't you stay over there and watch? Stotsky says, yeah, we can take care of these guys on our own. Helm Hall says, sorry about this. Vance says, get out of the way. Ellie says, all of you hold, I haven't given out any orders to attack yet. My. Let's see. can't hit this fucking guy. Vance and Helmhole's scream. Rank says, Vance, Helm, are you two okay? Vance says, why am I losing to a lamb? Something's wrong. Way wrong. Rank says, Vance, get a hold of yourself. Vance says, oh yeah? I just need more. I need more drive. Ellie says, I can't do it. I can't fight Faye, but the only thing left is to use drive. But what are you doing? Don't worry, it's just the drive. The drive will just readjust you, your balance, and make you feel good. I don't want it. I don't want to use it. You think we're going to make an exception because your father's top brass? Please go away. You have no recollection? There were no records on mental enhancement drug use up until now. Then it was sudden. She's probably a type that can't handle the drive. That probably caused her lapse into delirium and her loss of self-control? You mean an unconscious burst of pent-up antipathy? But everyone has that. Is that why the innate ability is so high? Yes. What did the commander call those girls again? It's probably higher than they are. Then it's an instantaneous jump in numerical value, but we can't use her as a test subject in front of Eric. It's a pity we can't manage it since there is so much potential. Eric is her father. We'll leave you to the Bureau. Stay at your residence until further notice. Don't worry. You have power worthy of the Chosen Ones. It's those weak people's fault for not being able to withstand your powers. Please, stop it. Rank says, don't. Any more drive and you'll waste your mind. Vance says, I don't care, I'm already messed up as it is. Ellie says, stop this now, Vance, I'll handle it. Faye says, that voice, Ellie. Ellie, is that you? Ellie says, Faye, what are you doing? You shouldn't be here. Ellie, your face, what's wrong? Don't tell me you're using that personality-changing drug that Bart told us about. Ellie says it has nothing to do with you, and would you quit trying to be so friendly? Says, wow, did you see that? Rank says those were air rods. Vance says, air rods? Helmhole says, animum ether response offensive drones, commonly known as air rods. Within Gebler, there are only a handful of people capable of using them. From what I hear, it should only be people from the Elements class. Stratsky says, but isn't it like a side effect of the drive? It's no big deal, right? Rank says, no, the drive can only draw upon the potential that already exists in her. You're looking at the real thing, boys. Faye says, Ellie, stop it. Why must we fight? Ellie says, why, it's obvious. It's divine providence. We are the chosen people, the able. Our purpose of existence is to subordinate the earth-dwelling lambs. Those who stand in our way must be eliminated. was kind of like an awkward sentence. Make subordinate, I guess, maybe would make more sense to me. I don't know. Faye says, Ellie, snap out of it. Your emotions are being controlled by the drug. Ellie says, this is my true nature. There is no other. Faye says, that's a lie. You once felt responsible, blaming yourself for causing the incident in Lahan by landing there. You were considerate of me when I was troubled. The real you would never say anything like that. Ellie says, you talk as if you would know, yet you know nothing. Ellie says, ha ha ha, writhe, dance, die in rot and obscurity here. Faye says, Ellie, why must I fight you? Ellie says, it looks like it's over for you. I'll put you out of your misery now. Fear not. In return for treating me so kindly, I will kill you painlessly. Farewell, Faye. Ellie says, ah, my head. Faye says, what happened? There's something wrong with Ellie. I can probably stop her now. Faye says, Ellie, wake up. Snap out of it. Ellie says, silence, impertinent fool. I will not listen to a lamb. Ellie says, that's not true. No, I don't want this. Ugh. Faye says, are you okay, Ellie? What? Are the effects of the drug wearing off? Ellie screams. Faye says, is that it, Ellie? Is that what's happening? Ellie says, shut up. I have no need for outward appearances of compassion. She mutters incomprehensibly. She says, help. This isn't me. Faye says, hang in there, Ellie. Don't let go of your true self. Ellie says, no. There's like a lot of glitching right here. It's driving me nuts. Ellie screams, no! Faye says, Ellie. He gets out of his gear and runs to her. Faye says, Ellie, why? Ellie says, I warned you. I said the next time we met, we'd be enemies. Faye says, but there's no reason for you to do this to yourself just so you can fight. There's no reason for you and I to fight, none at all. Faye says, there was no other choice. No, Ellie says there is no other choice. Ellie says, I'm a Solaris officer, I can't turn my back on my unit or the mission. Faye says, why did you have to use drive? Ellie says, I didn't want to. When I use it, I change. I feel like I'm dominated by some unknown power that I never wanted. There's a power in me that I don't want to admit, but I want to protect my allies, so I had no choice but to use the drive. Faye says, Ellie, you're the same as me. Ellie says, the same? Probably. I felt I knew you ever since I first met you, probably because our problems were so similar. Faye says, I'm here for you. It may not be much, but at least I can relate to how you feel, Ellie. Ellie says, what are you saying? We lick each other's wounds? Faye says, no, that's not... Well, maybe I guess I am. Sorry. Ellie says, I'm sorry. I'm not being fair, am I? Faye says, no, I'm just pessimistic sometimes, but even so, it's better than worrying about it by yourself. Ellie says, Faye? Faye says, you won't change your mind? Ellie says, please don't look so sad. I have no choice. It is my only home. Faye says, I have to go. My friends are waiting for me. Faye says, if you can, get out of the army, Ellie. That look doesn't suit you at all. Faye says, I gotta hurry. Repairbot says, I watched you from the shadows. You're very powerful. I've only got the same items as before. Anything you'd like? Well, we definitely need a cure. Or rather, refuel. Repairbot says, I hope to see you again. Alrighty, I guess I leave? I don't know. Faye says, looks like the mountain peak is right above here. Alrighty. Guess a glass broke. Mason says, the young master's cup. Is something bad gonna happen to him? Bart says, Sig and I will take 2 men and head for the top floor. Citan, you take the 2 remaining men and open the castle gate to let in our main force. If we can catch Shakan, we are sure to succeed. Citan says, right, when we capture Shakan, give the signal. It is probably best to open the gate at that time. Bart says, above us is the castle Bailey. The keep must fall quickly. Shakan should be on the top floor. Sigurd says, in the room that used to be used by the young master's father. Try not to damage the castle, avoid all needless combat, and remember, above all, speed. Bart says, that's why there are so few of us. Our objective is Shakan. Ignore the Gebler and Ava soldiers. Bart says, alright, let's move on out. Let's see here. I guess I just go up the stairs? I don't know. Bart says, let's go. Apparently they were waiting for him. My. Bart says, you've saved us the trouble of finding you, Shakan. Now get ready. Shakan says, we've been expecting you. Bart says, what? Bear with me, I'm gonna reload my drink and I should be back in like 1 minute. Sorry about that. It's a shame my dog cannot fetch iced tea, but hey. Sigurd says, crap, an ambush. Seitan says, uh-oh. Where's Carr? Miang says, I see you are quick to catch on. Ramses should be taking care of all your divided forces out by the Nissan border as we speak. Ramses easily saw through your plan to use a feint attack by Kislev long ago. Don't underestimate us. Miang continues, Hyuga, have you lived down here so long that your mind has slipped? And Sigurd, who would have thought you would have joined the last survivors of the royal dynasty? Sigurd says, damn it, why are you still backing Shakan? What does it matter to you who the king is? Miang says, ha! You suggest the son of murdered King Fatima? He refused to cooperate. You mean to say that now he wants to be our puppet all of a sudden? That I don't believe, even coming from the mouth of a traitor like you. Miang laughs and says, besides, stupidity in puppets has its advantages. Shakan says, stupidity, Miang? What's that supposed to mean? Miang says, Minister Shakan, I'll let you handle this. You must protect your own position. We don't care who is sitting on the throne. Any obedient sheep would be fine. However, isn't there something that you still have to do? If you will only do that, then we will help you as much as possible. Shakan says, yes, you don't have to tell me. One must take care of one's own country's criminals personally. Miang says, then, with your permission, I shall take my leave. Bart says, hey now, wait a minute. Miang says, goodbye, boys. Shakan says, you pirate. No, you're just a sandworm. You've caused me enough shame. But this is the end. You didn't know your place, and now all that awaits you is your annihilation. Prepare to fire. Shakan says, what? I guess Seitan summoned that land crab thing. Oh no, it's Mason. Fancy. Mason says, you wretched rebel, Shakan. Make one move and this Gatling gun shall be spitting fire. Bart says, old Mason. Mason says, reinforcements have arrived, young master. Please come aboard. Mason continues, shall we depart? Bart says, see ya, you bald geezer. We'll settle this later. Till then, go get your head waxed. Seitan says, this is not good. Shakan says, is this some kind of joke? It seems sandworms can't fly after all. Just surrender. Thanks for the laughs. I almost hate to have to shoot you. Bart says, crap, I guess we're gonna get mauled. Mason says, everyone please get down. Bart says, do you have a plan, Mason? Mason says, leave it to me. Bart says, Mason, you're just walking in circles. Mason says, just leave it to me. Yoink. Hilarious. Yeah, that's what my face would look like if that happened too. I'd just be like, wow, that's some stuff. Bart says, thanks for saving us, old Mason. Mason says, please raise your head. My duty is to protect the young master. I'm sorry it took me so long to help you. Bart says, I feel bad you had to get involved. I appreciate it. But I had no idea you could operate such a thing. Mason says, it's a trick I picked up long ago. It's nothing special. Mason continues, I'm no expert on it. I'm actually a bit embarrassed about it. Ooh. Sigurd says, young master, the royal capital's armies are returning. We were the ones who took the bait. We must escape before we get caught. Head for the bridge as soon as you are through with your preparations. Alrighty, it says... I don't know. Let's have a save really quick here. I don't know. Maybe I just go back up to the deck. Oh, never mind. Faye says, is that Vanderkam's border fleet? Matria says, our job is to slow them down, so how do you want to do it? Faye says, simple. We do this. Matria says, he might even be more gung-ho than the young master. Falcon, follow the kid. The rest of you stay with your unit, but follow me. Don't fall behind the kid. We're going in too. Bogies incoming, Vector 336, 2 groups, about 7-8 machines, distance 2000. Relay to all ships, fire at will, begin evasive action, but don't let fire support positions collapse. Roger, flagship to all ships, all rapid fire control systems commence operation. Lay aerial mines. How many machines are on air patrol? Vanderkom says, aviation officer, wait. Com officer, change of orders. Contact Von Hipper. Have the 2nd Destroyer Squadron approach the enemy flank. Open the fleet's side and bait them into entering the Kfinzel's main guns firing arc. The officer says, huh? It's stupid. There's no way the flagship's gun can hit speeding gears. Vanderkom says, fire control. Gunnery chief, ready the Type 3 shells. Pull back the deck gunners and prepare to engage the Kfinzel's main cannon. I will annihilate them into pure energy. The officer says, Admiral, what are you doing pulling the anti-gear gunners back? Vanderkom says, quiet down, aviation officer. Thanks for your valuable opinion, but I am in charge, not you. What use are pea shooters and 40-sem guns? Vanderkom says, discussion over. Captain, not too fast. We don't want to leave the enemy behind. The officer mutters, your plan will never work. Falcon says, aim for the flagship heading west. Don't engage the destroyer, I'll back off and help out. just so fucking fast, I guess. Oh man, that's fucking annoying. Falcon says, get away from the destroyer. I am going to use reactive shots. Vanderkamp says, that moron, Hipper, pursue them. We're just playing with him. You're not good enough to be my dog. Someone says, our mobility is too different. Vanderkamp says, fire control, gunnery chief, it hasn't fired a shot yet. Range for Type 3 is within 500. Don't fire till you see the whites of their eyes. The officer says, gears at battle speed can move at 2,000 per hour. Vanderkamp says, this whole ship, all of you are morons. And then the officer says, you're the biggest moron. Black enemy gear inside units, stick to your escort. Falcon says, just past this line of ships is the flagship Kefenzel. I love how these enemies are 5 times faster than I am. Seems really fair. What am I supposed to be doing? Precisely am I supposed to do? I don't know. Maybe I'll just kill some of these enemies. Shitting me. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Sitting right here, next to this fucking enemy. Maybe I I just gotta kill all its little friends. I don't know. Or maybe that's not the right ship. I don't know. Are you fucking kidding me? Vandercom says, Fire Control, Gunnery Chief, what are you doing? You're not even close, are you blind? Destroyer, Iltis, engine down. Flash signal from Luva. Luva, rudder out, rudder out. 3 remaining allies. Vandercom says, idiotic, idiotic, what is this mess? Enemy gear above. Enemy gear diving from above. Vandercom says, go down, damn it, or Ramses will have my head. Readying Kefenzel gun. Apparently there are some small guns too. All personnel evacuate. Abandon ship. Repeat, evacuate. Admiral, forget him. Vandercom says, right, I still have that. I still have that. Yes, I still have that. Yeah, he just says the same shit over and over again. Matria says, yes, one for our side. Faye says, yeah, and it's all due to your support. Thanks. Matria says, stop the border guards. Ha, we destroyed them. Well, we've done our job. I hope the others do okay. Faye says, Bart and his team, he's probably okay. Any word from them? Matria says nothing. They say no news is good news, I guess. My gear doesn't have very good comm equipment. They probably did fine, though. Matria says, what's wrong? Oh boy. Commander Com says, I will kill you. How enlightening. Holy shit. Can he actually heal himself? Well, that does jack shit. I'm like out of fuel. This is retarded. Not worth doing that, clearly. Not even do anything? Yeah, that does nothing. Okay. Oh boy. I guess I'm just gonna die. I'll kill you. Yep. HUD cover broken. Defense down. Well, I fucked up. Well, that really fucking blows. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do, but okay. I need to avoid more of those fights, I guess. I'm obviously just gonna skip all this shit, since I've already done it. Fucking saved and it didn't fucking work. God damn it. Jesus Christ. Hurry the fuck up. Please shut up. Whatever, I guess I can eat my food. Yeah. Oh my god, just fucking make it over. Fuck you. I love that those enemies just move towards me, like, basically no matter what. Yeah, I'm not interested in it. Can you fucking not? I love that these enemies just magically are, like, fucking impossible to dodge. Seriously? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Just chill for a while? Okay. Yeah, you've gotta be fucking kidding me with this shit, right? Oh my fucking god. Seriously? What am I supposed to do to activate this fucking battle? God damn. There's like no rhyme or reason to that spot. Like, you just fucking aimlessly run around, I guess. So annoying. Fuck off. I'll kill you. Okay. That's fucking fair, I guess. Are you fucking shitting me with this? Okay, well that's over at least. I guess I leveled up. Vandercom says, Graf says, do you want the power? Who are you? Well, I'm fucking Graf, baby. My god. Allergies. Graf says, I'm motherfucking Graf, bitch! The seeker of power! Doth thou desire the power? Vandercom says, the power? Yeah. Graf says, yes, the power. Who is this guy? Fucking Captain Planet? The power is yours! I want it. I want the power. Graf says, okay. Graf says, my fist is the divine breath. He's gonna fist him? That's scary. Graf says, blossom, O fallen seed, and draw upon thy hidden powers. Grant unto thee the power of the glorious mother of destruction. Vandercom goes, wow, yes, sir. The up-rendering is having some trouble with these cutscenes. Bart says, we'll go back to Nissan. Sigurd says, it's useless, young master. Mason says, yes, young master. I hear they attacked the fort at the border. The Gebler, led by Ramses, routed them. We better withdraw for now and reconsider. Bart says, Margie and them are still there. We'll go back. We have to. That reminds me, what about Faye and his guys? If they're alright, we could. Franz says, we've had no contact since we confirmed their order to charge. Bart says, damn it, this can't be happening. Mason says, young master. Bart says, behind? Bart says, something's coming from behind. Jericho, give me the helm. No, you keep it. Just hurry up and pull either way. Sigurd says, young master? Franz says, aft of our stern, 300. I'm picking up the sound of torpedoes being readied. A sand cruiser, it's big, speed 60, relative route 000. They were hiding behind some baffles. Sigurd says, car. Franz says, I'm picking up some high-speed propulsion breaking away from the enemy ship. Torpedoes, 2 of them, speed 87. Torpedoes confirmed with sonar. They've shifted over to active homing. Bart says, battle stations, deploy the maskers. Ready the noisemaker. Battle stations, everyone. Open jammer, noisemaker, 2nd, 4th, tube, stand by. Bart says, emit noisemaker, prepare to stop the engine. Bart says, helm, now, steer to the opposite direction as far as you can. Stop the engine, crash alarm. Stop the engine, crash alarm. Torpedo 1, still pursuing. Damn it, impact in 3. Confirmed vessel destruction noise, followed by rapid blowing noise. Enemy vessel is probably floating rapidly to the surface. Fluid static around enemy vessel is decreasing. Sand maneuverability of enemy vessel down 60%. Looks like the main engine and effect fins have been disabled. Ramses says, once their effect fins are destroyed, they will remain buried and unable to move. Surfacing was a smart move. Sand Torpedo Chief, well done on lowering their fighting power. Brilliant. Sorry to trouble you, says someone. Ramses says, well, what shall we do with them? Miang says, oh, it's unusual for you to get lost. Ramses says, I promised an old friend I must take it easy. An old friend, Ramses repeats. Ramses screams, Sigurd. Ramses says, why are you abandoning this country? You were supposed to help us create an ideal nation. Sigurd says, I'm not abandoning it. I've been living here to steal this country's technology from the beginning. Besides, there's someone waiting for me. Don't be bitter. Sigurd continues, it wasn't too bad going after the same ideals with you for that short time. Ramses says, you traitor. Ramses yells out, Comm officer, use my name and urge them to surrender. Tell them to surrender if they desire the safety of Nissan. Ramses says, all divisions cease fire but remain on alert. If any enemy vessel attempts to attack, shoot it individually. Matria says, what was that? That guy just now. Faye says, it's them. Why them? What did they do? Huh? What? Oh no! General Matria! We have an R-code message. I'm not sure, but it looks like the young master is in trouble. We don't have time for this junker. Vanderkalm says, you there. What are you doing ignoring me and messing around? I'll kill all of you, says Vanderkalm. Matria says, Faye, gather the wounded up and return to the young master. Hurry, my unit will stay behind and try to buy some time. All operational gears left will provide cover as per their commander's orders and retreat in set order. Faye says, don't be stupid, I'm staying too. Matria says, shut up and listen, boy. You're the young master's guest. I can't let you die here. Faye says, but... Matria says, the young master, what he really needs is your strength. Please help him, I beg you. Matria calls out to his others, Fair and Vind, let's move out. Faye says, stop it. Stop. Ah. Ah. Bart says, surrounded, huh? How are the repairs? The engineer says, the main engine and effect fins oscillators are mostly unharmed, but the electrical connections between them are wasted. We are bypassing the main connection and trying to scrape together all the energy we can, but it will only give us 70% of our usual maximum power at best. The propulsion drills are not damaged, but if the sand can't be granulated, they might as well be. We'll make battle speed 3, only barely. Bart says, Sig, what has Gebler's Mr. Puniverse got to say? Sigurd says, he's been quiet since the first surrender demand. Bart says, all personnel to battle stations. Breakthrough is planned after the connectors are up. Sigurd says, young master. Bart says, Sig, listen. Surrendering isn't going to change Nissan's fate. We'll lose the Yggdrasil, the core of our power, in saving Ava and Margie. I know it looks bad, but you can still count on us. Mason says, well said, young master. This old man will follow you to the pits of hell. Bart says, sorry, old Mason, I'm not dying today. Besides, they don't look like they're gonna hit us. Sigurd says, it sure looks that way. Perhaps they have political motives that involve Margie or the young master. Bart says, that's probably it, Sig. But they're forgetting one thing. It's harder to bring in an animal alive than dead. The engineer says, young master, emergency connections are complete. Use the engine as you wish. Bart says, thanks. Alright, let's go get those fools. Confirmed. One enemy gear engaged. Direct course. Enemy vessel engine noise increasing. Speed increase. Steering noise confirmed. Course change. Taking evasive action. Miang says, Commander, and then laughs. Ramses says, can't help it, eh? Ramses says, all divisions, holding pattern cancelled. Resume attack. Bow torpedo tubes 1 through 3. Namthal missile set 1 and 2 are homing, and 3 for anti-radar. Tubes 4 to 6. Makara Mk5 sand torpedoes. After acquiring target, set all to passive homing. All units, begin defensive fire. Aim for the main ship. Wait. Explosions along the perimeter of the fleet confirmed. Multiple vessel destruction noises. High energy reactions. What kind of game is this? Commander, I can't believe this. This gear. It's likely reactive rounds are flying around. Miang says, calm down. Put the analyzed picture on the monitor. Yes, sir. Ramses says, ah, that is... It's Ib's gear. I would imagine. Ka-chow. Bart says, what happened? Bart asks, is it heading here? Ramses says that gear, no mistake, it's him, the demon of Elru. Miang, let's go. Miang says, Commander, please wait. Commander? Miang laughs. The gear asks, are you strong, to Bart. Bart says, what? Who are you? I asked, are you strong? The gear attacks. Bart says, behind me? Bart says, what are you suddenly attacking me for? The pilot says, heh heh, fine, then play dumb. You strong. Huh? It appears Ramses and Miang have intervened. Ramses says, you there, pirate boy, do you know him? That's right, weren't you with that punk Faye? Bart says, no, I don't know him. But even if I did, I sure wouldn't tell you. Ramses says, good, then you won't mind if I take care of him. Ramses says, I owe him greatly. Interesting. Your enemy becomes your friend for a moment, I suppose. Ramses says, I finally found you. Now I must challenge you. Ooh. Ramses says, this can't be. You monster. Ramses groans, and then says, damn you, if it weren't for you. Bart says, keep back. Miang says, Commander, let's pull out. Ramses says, don't do anything unwarranted, Miang. I still have one arm. Miang says, we're pulling out. That mad dog seems to have a new toy to play with. Ever the practical creature she is. I don't know that the frame limiting does anything at this point. The pilot of that gear says, well, now that my motor coil's warmed up, let's start the main event. Bart says, today is my unlucky day. Why does this have to happen now? Oh well, let's get it over with. Survive that. Sigurd says, engine ready for full power. Jericho, give me the helm over here. But first, mate, now with the effect fins out of order, if you run at full speed, the ship wouldn't be able to stand the friction. Sigurd says, it can jump due to the Bernoulli effect on the wing surfaces instead. First, mate. Sigurd says, never mind that. The Yggdrasil is nothing without the young master. Full power, maximum speed. i9-9900K and my RTX 2070 are having trouble with this uprender. Sigurd says, yeah, let's go! So the Yggdrasil just jumps on top of that enemy gear. Sigurd says, young master, are you okay? Bart says, don't overdo it, Sig. Trying to make our ship fly? When we get back, it'll take a month to get this heap of junk working again. Sigurd says, ha ha ha, you seem to be okay. Bart goes, sheesh, what was that monster anyway? Bart says, Sig, what's going on? Sigurd says, what? The ship? The engine should have fallen out, but... Apparently it is lifting up the Yggdrasil like it's nothing. That was pretty interesting, he says. One sec, I'm gonna check my... Yeah, I'm only using 23, not even 18% of my CPU and like 20% of my GPU. So I'm wondering why this uprender is having so much trouble. The enemy gear person says, but dropping a warship on me is cheating. Take it back. Art says, Sig, amazing, and screams out. As he should, because that's some wacky stuff there. The sand pump, effect fins, and propulsion drills are all out of commission. Main engine, support engine, engage the auto scram. Switch power to batteries. Output ratio 0.5. Operating time 500. Fran says the third bridge, it's ruined. The hangar section, the armament section, and even the pressure shell have been destroyed. We can't stop the sand from flowing in. Sigurd says close each section down completely and commence independent operation. Fran says then damage control won't be able to move, the hole won't be covered. Sigurd says that's alright. Either way, it's impossible to save the entire ship. Our priority is to secure the bridge. Gather everyone into the bridge immediately. Sigurd says, Hyuga, no, you're Seitan now. You need to get out. I'll have Mason guide you to an escape pod. Seitan says, I can't leave you all like this. Sigurd says, we have no right to keep you here and get you involved. If you see Kar and Miang, make sure you pay him back for me. Sigurd says, Mason, please show him the way. Mason says, this way, please. Looks like Seitan's flying the coop. Seitan screams, Sigurd! Seitan says, I am being carried by the wind to the vicinity of the border. He asks, what is that? Seitan says, that is the Dora. It was stationed here. That was careless of me. But its condition. It is just like the others that he destroyed. Time to save my data and end broadcast.